Hello, everybody. Max Scoville here for IGN. With me, Sean Finnegan.
Hello, Max. How's it going?
I'm not too bad. I am pretty bad at first-person shooters, but which is what this game is. What is this game we're checking out today?
So this is Piercing Blow, and lucky for you, Max, I am going to give you 5 tips on improving your first-person shooter gameplay.
Now, you have some area of expertise on this front. Am I correct in that assessment?
Yeah, I grew up playing shooters. I'm a big-time FPS guy. I played Pro Counter-Strike in 1.6 for most of my high school and college years. And now I'm just kind of, playing these things for fun and doing the thing over here at IGN.
All right. Well, so what's going on here? This is a PC shooter.
Yep.
And it's free to play, so people can just jump right into it. This is an old-timey Old West map.
Yeah, this is a brand new map from the developer, and it's a little bit wider and more open than the other maps, which is why we wanted to give it a try. And it actually has really great angles, which leads me to my first point. Like the best thing you can do to improve your gameplay in first-person shooters is to know your angles. Like, first-person shooters are all about positioning. Obviously, if you peek a corner and someone is looking right at you, it comes down to who's going to be the better shooter. But if they're not looking at you, you come out behind them, or you have an angle on them, and you get the first shot, then you are at a much greater advantage in terms of winning. Okay. So
this is sort of a weird map to show this off on too, because if it's more open, it's a little bit less angles, would you say, or is it?
Yeah. So, what's great is on the red side, there's a lot of close corridor hallways and sort of like bookshelves and things that are obstructing your view. There's also this middle platform where there's a high ground. So, in addition to open quarters and close quarters, you also have high ground, low ground angles, which is just another kind of cool map design thing. So that's tip number 1. You got to know your angles.
And the angles, if you know your angles well, you don't have to move at all. Is that correct?
No, you still got to move a little bit because...
Okay. Well, that's your next point, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Moving on to the next point. Master the movement of the game. Every shooter plays and feels differently. People run at different speeds and jump at different heights. If you can maximize your movement so that people don't expect you to be in spots that you are, you're, again, going to have a positioning advantage and be able to shoot them before they even see you.
Sure, and a moving target is harder to hit. Obviously. Absolutely,
yeah. So that's one of the things is in first-person shooters, you never want to give away your position, but when you do, it behooves you to really be able to move to other positions quickly and efficiently in the best route possible, so that when they come scout that location, you're not there anymore.
There you go. Yeah, a rolling stone gathers no moss, and a jumping, running person gathers less bullets.
Well said.
Probably. Very deep.
Well said. Yeah.
Now, what about playing your strengths?
So that's the next tip. Like, first-person shooters can be played a manner of different ways. There's obviously a lot of different weapons and playstyles. Shotguns are good in close quarters. Rifles are better at range. Do what's best for you. If you're the type of guy who likes to run and gun, you do a lot of sprinting, you're not worried about giving away your position because you're relying on your movement, play to that strength. Double down on your shotguns, get flashbang grenades, and play those close corners. Like, don't come out of these buildings and stuff.
Gotcha.
That's what you really want to do.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you're more of a long-range aimer, then you don't want to go in these sort of like buildings because you're going to get shotgun in the side of the head just coming through a doorway. You want to stay out here by this, whatever this covered wagon is.
Prairie schooner.
Yeah, or play this middle ground that you just saw me peek right there and headshot that guy.
Just out of curiosity, what do you think your strengths are?
I've always been more of a rifler.
Okay. I mean, you've got a FAMAS with a sniper scope on it.
Exactly, yeah. Like, I love to rifle because I'm good at burst control and or burst fire and controlling my spray. But to be a good player, you got to be kind of good at everything.
Yeah,
so, maybe a little humble brag there.
Now, why do you keep swapping the knife?
So that's actually just a habit that I kind of just have it from playing Counter-Strike all the time. It keeps my hands warm and it keeps me. I just tap it after I get a kill. Like, I'll switch a lot. That is one of the things that, like, it's just I've kind of always done it in every shooter I do. Is like after I get a kill or after I'm moving, I move faster. I'm more active when I do that. The other thing is that like in Counter-Strike, you move faster with lighter guns. Mm-hmm. So you'll see me switch to my pistol or my knife to sprint a short distance.
That's kind of what I was getting at. I mean, you see you lugging around a big.
Yeah, I thought you meant the quick switching thing, which is a habit.
You're just fidgety.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, this game actually has a lot of customization. Do you know how like tricked out your kind of loadout is here?
So the loadout is pretty standard. It's a rifle, pistol, grenade, flash. You can switch the flash out for a smoke. It really just depends on what mode you're playing. Like, again, we're playing here deathmatch, which is pretty standard. You kill people, any people. There's no teams really, and then Actually, no, there is teams in this one. Sorry, my mistake. It's just timer and a score. Depending on different modes, you want to switch out your loadout and play like maybe a smoke grenade for a bomb diffuser or anything like that. But a pretty standard loadout here. All manners of different types of guns. There's, a slew of them. 10 or 15 SMGs and rifles, a bunch of different pistols. Some of them are like colored and toy.
That's good. Yeah, there's definitely. Cool. I mean, it's a free-to-play game, so you can have some fun customization. You'll notice that somebody's running around in some jean shorts over here.
Yeah, you can not just customize your guns, but also your character costumes. That's pretty cool.
It's cosmetic for the most part, but it's isn't that? I like that kind of stuff. It keeps it interesting.
Well, for me, a first-person shooter, I think stuff should be cosmetic because you don't want to upset the balance of the game.
Yeah. Now back to the guide for people to play shooters. What would you say is your next piece of information?
So, as any great first-person shooter player will tell you, it really does come down to how well you work with your team in team-based shooters, obviously. So that is the next tip: is to utilize teamwork. Like, don't bait your other teammates and don't let them bait you, but have their back. Like, flash for them, watch the angles that they're not watching, and if you can get on a mic and communicate with them, you're going to be that much more powerful. One of the things that the thing that you want to do is always trade. Like, if you're going to fight someone, it's cool if they kill you as long as you kill them. That's like the baseline. That's what you want to accomplish every single time. But if it's 2v1, then you'll always trade, or you'll kill them before they kill you, and then you come out net gained. So that's what you really want to do, and you can't do that if you're being a mute or if you're not working with your team.
How many people are on the map right now? It's just one person on your team, right?
I believe, it's me and this other guy versus 4 or 3 other people. People kind of drop in and out of these lobbies.
But it's a pretty close match too.
Yeah, it's pretty tight here. 26 to 27. Yeah, for sure. So again, in close matches, this is where me being able to talk to that one other guy would allow us to stick together and maybe get the better of a lot of these sort of encounters in the middle and stuff.
How big do the matches get in this? Do you know?
It can be up to 10v10 in deathmatch. I'm not sure about the other modes yet. I haven't had too much time. Like I said, I just started playing this like a couple days ago, and it can get pretty intense though, like especially in deathmatch on bigger maps like this. Like I played one where it's a full 10v10 and there's just a lot going on. Like you can't really peek without getting shot.
Okay. Now what's your final tip here?
The last tip is you really got to practice aiming. Just practice your aim.
How do you practice aiming? Just play a lot? Is that it?
So it's a combination of things, right? Like it's one, you got to know the maps, right? You're going to have an advantage if you know where people are going to appear. The other thing is you got to know the spray patterns and the recoil of all the guns. Like, this is the FAMAS. The FAMAS in this game works very similar to the FAMAS in Counter-Strike, which I play all the time. So this is why I'm using this gun. It's pretty easy to control the recoil.
That has been one of my favorite guns since the first Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's a classic.
Big fan.
It's a staple.
Gotta love a bullpup.
For sure. And so, that's the... But really what it comes down to is you got to be able to shoot people in the head, and you got to be able to shoot people faster and more accurately than they can shoot you, because despite better positioning, despite knowing the maps and having teamwork, in the end, like, you do have to be able to shoot better than one other person in a firefight. Just you versus one other person, you got to be able to come out on top. So deathmatch a lot, that's what we're doing here. Practice aiming, practice your angle. Spend a lot of times with the guns. You'll learn the recoil, and you'll be able to control the spray and be able to shoot more bullets more accurately.
Okay, well that's a pretty good kind of crash course in how to shoot the guns real good at the guys in the games.
Yeah, and I hope it is. Like, these are tips that I believe apply to every shooter, not just Piercing Blow.
That's good. And Piercing Blow, of course, it's a pretty it's out for PC, and you can kind of jump right into it. And
yeah, go have a try. It is really unique, and there's a lot of cool free-to-play elements. It's out there now. I've been playing it. I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, if you're in the market for something like this, go ahead and give it a try. Maybe even add us up and play with it.
What does your dude look like?
I got a cowboy hat on and some weird, like, they're not jean shorts, but they're like corduroy shorts.
Okay, that's pretty weird. That's actually weirder than jean shorts.
Well, I do my best to make it as weird as possible.
Jorts are one thing, but
it's my, like,
corduroys? I don't know anybody who wears corduroys.
Corduroy shorts.
That's the word.
Yeah.
That's the technical term.
Well, my whole goal with the costume is to try and be distracting. I want them to be like, "Whoa, this guy looks weird," instead of pulling the trigger on their gun.
They do have like crazy stuff.
There's all kinds of stuff here. Like I've seen like clowns running around and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Horrifying.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a different tactic.
You're kind of counting down here.
Yeah, we're getting there. It's the end of the match, but we are going to come out, I believe, on top, or I come out on top.
You think so?
Well, I haven't checked the scoreboard here in a second, but I could.
You
I
could.
really want to get this
you could.
last.
You think you're pretty good?
On top, 19 and 15, but the team did lose.
Yeah. So you should have been following your fourth rule there, which is utilizing teamwork.
That's true.
In any case, Sean, thanks for walking us through that.
My pleasure.
For all your video game stuff, keep it right here on IGN.